Hey everybody, and welcome back to the second channel. I have a ton of signing to do today because the tab books are now in existence and I need to sign all the pre-orders, thanks to all the people who pre-ordered them. And then I think we had 190 pre-orders. The tab book is everything on the Anchor EP and then a page on each song, an intro from my mom, who's also here but out of frame, helping me out today, and also includes all the patrons' names in it. But anyway, there was about 180 something pre-orders, and I have 300 here. So also the first 110, 120 or so will also be signed if you would like one. Link at the top of the description. Last time I did this, I think that lasted maybe a day. So if you're interested in that, check that out. And then I'll just be doing a Q&A while I'm signing everything. So I posted on Twitter and the community tab here on the second channel, which is new. And we'll see what questions people have. But first I'm gonna start. Should I sign? I should probably sign the inside because it's a book. It's not like an album.
So
my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm an author now. There are words. I can write words. It's official. How many tracks are on that? 12? So I wrote 12 pages.
That's good.
So, like basically a novel.
Basically.
Sign that one. Also, I'm gonna put it bigger. So whoever gets the first one, and these will be random too. So these aren't just the pre-orders. I don't know which one of these boxes are gonna go out first. All right, one down. I'm gonna sign a few more while the questions come in. Nice. And the top comment currently is, would you ever fight a giraffe?
A giraffe.
A giraffe, yeah.
Well.
No. I don't know in what situation where I would fight a giraffe. There are two questions here that are, what are my first guitar? And that's actually a good question for you to answer, Mom, because I'm not. I think it was a Fender Squier. Dad had a Fender Strat that was just his and was lying around, but I wasn't allowed to use that one. And I think I got a guitar that I actually didn't use when I was really, really young. I'm pretty sure it was a Squier. It looked like a Fender, but it wasn't. So it was either a knockoff Fender Strat or a really, really cheap Squier.
And you bought that?
No, I was like 8 at the time. So I didn't buy it.
Oh,
That was definitely your money,
Mom.
Mom.
Question.
Or
What about your bass? Wasn't the bass the first one?
The first instrument that I ever bought was, yeah, that bass, and it was after finding Primus and needing to be able to play slap bass. Thank you. And then, what was that? That was the Fender Squier P bass. It's the one that Fluff hates because I was using it for years.
That's why we keep it.
Yeah. I was using it for years, and it does not sound good. I got it used, I think, for like less than $100, and it worked. It was good to practice on, but to actually record with it, I used it for a bit too long. But that was the first instrument I ever bought, was a Fender Squier P bass used. It's the one with the green stripes on it that's been used in videos before. Yeah, yeah. And how old was I? Maybe 12.
Junior high?
Thank you. I like this off-screen hand just going in and helping me out. Yeah, it was sometime in junior high, maybe 7th grade.
Junior high, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was 7th grade is when I bought my first instrument. But
That sounds right.
yeah, but my dad had a Fender Stratocaster in the house that I sometimes played without him knowing, or pretended to play. He was aware. He didn't. Yeah, he had a Fender Strat and a camera that I wasn't allowed to touch.
Camera.
Maybe that's that shows why I do this now. Is because the two like expensive items I think that we had were like
In the house.
yeah, they're like 2 expensive items in the house were like a Fender Strat and a camera that recorded on like DV tape that were both like under lock, and the refrigerator. So those were the sought-after items for me, I guess, when I was a kid. But I did have a cheap Squier or something, but it broke, or it was always broken. Maybe we got it used, because I don't have any memory of it working. It was always very broken.
I don't know where we got that from.
Because we eventually drew on it. Remember, we hung it on the wall
Yeah.
and drew on it because it didn't work. So that was like the only use to get out of it. Yeah, it was art.
But then what about when you got the classic guitar?
That was later. The classical was got at, and I mentioned that in this book too, because it's on this album. The classical guitar and 2 songs. That was bought for $50 at a Sam Ash, and my friend Jonathan's dad, bought that because we were there and we were like, oh my god, this is $50, and I could really use an acoustic. And it was the first guitar that for like the first year of the channel, was the only guitar I used. I thought my channel was all going to be just like nylon string guitar songs.
Took a turn.
Yeah. The banjo metal came later. But that must have been, I think I was like 14 or something. That was maybe the second instrument I didn't buy it, but that I acquired was that $50 Sam Ash. Yeah, I think, did I pay him back later? Do I still owe Jonathan's dad $50?
Stop the tape.
Yeah, oh geez. This can't go out. Because the interest on it now, after all these years.
Oh my god. I do recall you calling home and saying, Mom, I want to get this. Can we give Jonathan's dad $50 when we come home? And I was just like,
you're like,
I don't have $50 right now. Maybe in a couple days.
Yeah.
Once I get my paycheck.
Yeah, I think that was the last I heard of it, and maybe I just assumed.
Or of him.
Yeah, or of him. I haven't seen him since. Since I owe him money, I don't talk to him. Yeah. We got a good system going on here. The next 10, I'm going to draw a hat on myself. And since there's 300 of these, and they're going to be random when they go out, you have a 1 in 30 chance of
getting the true Robert.
Yeah, getting the. Yeah. Okay, this is an old photo. Okay.
Yeah. Imagine Robert hatless, right?
Yeah. 1 out of 30 chance of getting it with me in the hat on. Yeah, I went from thank you to thanks just to save time. Right. I do have 300 to do. So I guess how many were in thank you? Maybe 20?
So many different versions.
So many different versions here. That's all the sombrero versions. All right, I'm gonna move on to another question. Sam asks, I want to put out content, but the instruments we have are so poor in quality. What would you do if you had the same problem? And my answer is just make stuff still, because like the songs on here, like half of them are all made with what we were talking about.
Right, you have the same problem.
Yeah.
Even with like your cameras and your mics and your amps.
Rain was written before I had an amp. And same with like at least one of the, and it says it in here, my friend Nick. I wrote it on his amp and then saved up to buy that exact amp because that was the only way that I could play the song. And yeah, I would say just continue doing it. You don't need the best quality stuff.
So grab your milk and bring a friend too, 'cause it's time for Sunday group. Hey everyone,
all right, I'm gonna move on to another one. What motivated you to begin writing and putting it on YouTube? I was trying to, at first, my first try at getting music on the internet was, I had a band called Squirrel in a Spacesuit, and I remember doing MySpace and really getting into that to promote the band. And then we stopped making stuff, and the first thing I did to try to get my music out there was MySpace. And then I just saw YouTube and people getting a lot of traction on YouTube, as well as I think it was just early on that I learned that people could make a living on YouTube. But at the time, that was like hardly anyone. It was like maybe Smosh was doing it, and it just seemed like the logical next step. I also really like making videos. And I think what might have done it, or at least I remember seeing Andy McKee's video Drifting. We got keep that open for now.
Yeah.
And thinking like, oh, you can make guitar videos on YouTube and people will watch them.
Huh.
So I should try that out. Or wait, no. No, I had the YouTube channel before I had the MySpace page for my solo project because I didn't want to do a solo project. I just wanted to be in a band. Yeah. I don't know, does that answer the question? Probably not. All right. That is one box down, and we have 6 more to go. And just to save time, I'm gonna stop writing thanks into them. So I guess you have a 1 in 6 chance of getting one of the thank yous or the thanks. Travis Norman asks, I'd like to improve my 2-hand tapping technique. Do you have any tips, tricks, or cheat codes? Unfortunately, I don't have any cheat codes, but I do have, the marker wasn't working for a second there. So you have a 1 in 300 chance of getting one with a big scribble on it. So 2 things I would say to improve your 2-handed tapping technique is normally when people have trouble with that, their problem isn't actually in their 4 fingers that they're tapping with, though that's usually where they look. It's normally in the thumb. So when you're tapping with your left hand, you want your thumb to be directly behind where you're tapping so you have a good, it's like you're grasping the guitar neck. You'll be able to get a lot more force from your fingers that way. Also, you'll want you to be using maybe a lesser gauge string if you're having trouble, or a low action on your guitar. Those 2 things are gonna make it a lot easier. As well as with your right hand, what I do often is that I'll place my thumb on the top of the neck so that I have like an anchor with my thumb, and then I could be a lot more accurate with my other fingers. Or if I'm just tapping with one finger, I will put my thumb on one of them just like that, and then be able to get a bit more force with it that way. So I guess if I were to put it into one word, usually the answer to making making tapping easier is within your thumb. Emmy asks, how much coffee do I need to be a good musician? A lot in my case. I do drink a lot of coffee. Not necessarily, I don't think I write better music when I've had a lot of coffee, but just like keeping up with the schedule of like trying to make a video every week, it's like I normally end up having a lot of coffee.
It's kind of like some jobs, you know.
Yeah.
You need coffee to keep going because you still have stuff to do.
Is your inspiration coming from the beanie, or is the beanie coming out of inspiration? I mean, the beanie I only wear in videos. It's like, I still wear beanies in regular life, but like this particular one is only when I'm in front of a camera. And then normally now, I don't wear a beanie in regular life at all. I kind of like having okay, I'm in film mode now. Not like I'm playing a character or anything, but there's a little bit of separation there, I guess. I think I am looking way too into the beanie in this case. Neither, I guess, is the answer to it. This next question is just a good wind up.
Oh.
This next question is just a really good setup for a plug. But it's a favorite guitar you've played. Definitely my signature model with Chapman guitars. The 8 string is definitely the favorite guitar I've played. So yeah, no surprises there. But I guess I haven't mentioned on YouTube yet, though if you follow Chapman Guitars, it's already been pretty big news. But Chapman Guitars are now in Guitar Center in the US, as well as we've had a lot of awesome retailers, of course. And Riff City, by the way, is also, if you wanted to order a Chapman guitar, you can order one in the States from Riff City in Minnesota. But now in Guitar Centers around the US as well, you could go in the store and play one. So that's pretty exciting. So the signature model now is in Guitar Center, which is really surreal. I'm looking forward to when we can, because they're only at a few stores now as of filming this. And it's only, 5. And it was just what Chapman guitars we had at the NAMM show are the ones that are in Guitar Center. I think they're mostly sold out too at this point. But there's a Guitar Center in Arlington Heights where I grew up, where I would often go as a kid and then just dream about having everything in there. So it would be really surreal to be able to go and see my signature model on that Guitar Center in particular. It would be really cool. That's where, you know what, that Guitar Center on Arlington Heights Road in Arlington Heights is where I found out about Primus.
Really?
Yeah, I remember because we went there, and I don't know why we were in Guitar Center. We might have just went to continue oogling at guitars that I couldn't afford. And I think I was like 12. Yeah, but no, we were there because I bought the DVD. And I remember asking you, because we saw they were playing...
For $50.
Yeah, for $50. It was a $50 DVD. No, it was Animals Should Not Try to Act Like People.
Oh, sorry.
And it was like a CD, DVD set. And the CD was like an EP. It had like 5 tracks on it. But then it also had a DVD of every music video Primus had ever made, as well as a bunch of extra stuff and behind the scenes footage. And they were playing their Devil Went Down to Georgia cover on the TV screen at Guitar Center. And I thought the claymation was so cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
And I must have been like 12 at the time. And I was like, whatever that is, Mom, could we have it? And we bought it. And then I got super obsessed with Primus.
Yeah.
And then that was like a real switch for me because I had never seen anyone play instruments. And yeah, I had never seen anyone play instruments like that before. I had never heard music that was that weird or seen music videos like that. And so after seeing that, I was like, I need to be able to play slap bass, and I need to be able to make music videos. After watching that DVD a million times, it's like my main goal for a career was to make videos, or make music videos in particular.
You did some clay animation videos too.
Yeah, and they were real bad.
I don't know. I don't remember it that way.
Yeah, maybe I could find them and put them on this channel. They would fit right in on the second channel.
They were... The clay guys were on those little skateboards.
Yeah.
Those little hand
Yeah,
finger
I think
ones.
I have some of that footage. Maybe I'll put it in.
Slip that in.
Yeah. But yeah, after finding that Primus DVD, I'd never heard of the band before, and seeing all their music videos, it just blew my 12-year-old mind. And I was like, whatever that is, I need to do. So again, bringing it back to my favorite guitar.
Right.
It would be really cool to see the signature model in that Guitar Center.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Yeah. The next 2 questions right here are, just go back to the last one. What's your favorite, most influential album from someone called a guy person? And that would definitely be Animals Should Not Try to Act Like People by Primus and that DVD, by a long shot for me. And then the next one is any news on the new guitar. And then the next one is favorite album. So.
Done.
Yep, done.
Check that all.
Went on a rant with the last question and answered all those other ones. Favorite song artist at the moment. What I'm currently listening to that I'm really into is Giraffage's new album. I really like Giraffage's, and probably my favorite song on it is Falling Softly, I believe. I just heard it the other day. But yeah, right now that's what I'm listening to. Is there any guitar you don't have that you want? Yes, I mean, I want all guitars, really. If there, I don't know, if I just had infinite money and there was no barrier between me and buying instruments, I would really love to own every signature model from YouTube musicians. Like, I would love to have a Keith Merrow 7. I would love to have, it's weird that I don't have Fluff's signature model. Then like, I have a Ghost Fret, so that, Rob Chapman off the list. I have the Davey 504 bass. And then Leo's gonna have a signature model with Chapman soon. The Rabia, I don't have. It would just be, yeah, it would be really cool to have like a big wall of all the signature models from YouTube musicians. But I don't need to buy 5 more guitars. I haven't bought a guitar in a while. Since having the signature model with Chapman, it's like I'm gonna be using those as, of course, my first choice. And then that pretty much, covers my 6-string and 8-string needs. And then we're working on a 7-string too soon. So at the moment, I really don't need any more guitars. But is it tempting? Certainly.
Always.
I do have a new 6-string coming though soon, from Chapman and another collaboration with Bob Claggett from I Like to Make Stuff. We're turning a Chapman model into a B-bender to be able to make some videos with that. So that's gonna be cool. So that's the next guitar I have coming. But absolutely, it's if I had no self-control at all, then yes, I would be buying guitars all the time. But the signature models definitely have me covered. Rocky the Squirrel asks, have you ever made a fool of yourself at a gig? Because I sure have. Definitely.
Are you willing to share?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I think the worst show I ever played, oh, there was a few bad ones. There was one where I played in a tent. This is a long time ago. This is back in the MySpace days. When like 2007 maybe, or no, 2008, 2009. And I played in a tent and the show went long. And there were lights in the tent, and when it got dark out, all these mosquitoes went into the tent.
Ooh.
And I was on stage being completely attacked by mosquitoes, but playing my guitar, so I couldn't do anything about it. And it was so uncomfortable. And I ended the set early because me and the like 6 people who were there in the audience at the time were just getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. That was probably the most disappointing gig, and it was really far away too. And I went out, played I think 3 songs while getting attacked.
Wow.
And the audience having a horrible time because they were also getting attacked by mosquitoes. And that was it. But I think in some way I willingly make a fool of myself at Hank Green and the Perfect Stranger shows. But in a really fun way. Like, I'm behind the drums for Hank Green and the Perfect Strangers. We've been on 3 tours. It's the most fun band in the world. And I need to start looking actually at the lens and not at the... I say that in like every second channel video.
Oh, really?
But when I'm behind the drums, I kind of just go nuts and just really feel it. Yeah, so it's probably, I'm sure it's a bit silly looking, but I feel like that's how you're supposed to play drums.
Right.
Like, if you don't get off of the drums after a show and you're not completely exhausted, then it's like, what are you doing? At least that's
that kind of music, I think.
Yeah,
To it, too.
for that type of music, I feel like. But it is to the point where I'm having so much fun and moving around so much that I probably look pretty silly.
You know, back to the mosquito thing, I don't think I've ever heard any other person say that.
Oh yeah?
Like live. I mean, I'm considering how many different people you've heard talk about, being up on stage.
Yeah, because I imagine if you're at
Never being eaten alive
Yeah.
by mosquitoes.
if you're at a, does that happen to bands regularly? Like, if you're at a festival
must.
and it's late, there's a lot of lights on you.
Yep.
But normally it's a big stage that's lit up, so maybe it's not that much of a problem. But I was the only thing lit up in the tent, and it was out in somewhere in Wisconsin.
Next to a swamp.
Yeah, next to a swamp in Wisconsin, just getting eaten alive. What else is happening? Oh, you know what? Maybe the worst, this is a show that didn't happen that I felt really bad about. Maybe this is the worst feeling I've had about a show, is that I booked a show, this is in like 2008. It was back in the MySpace days. And I keep saying the MySpace days. I like referring back to it like it was, you know, the ancient history in the MySpace days. But most of the audience for me was on MySpace. Yeah, and I had a flip phone. I didn't have a phone at the time.
Oh, okay. Well, that's even worse.
And I couldn't post on a bulletin on MySpace about it, but I promoted a show really heavily on my MySpace page, and it was somewhere in Illinois, and I got the addresses confused.
Oh.
And so I showed up at this venue that was closed and no one was there, and I was just in the parking lot like, what's going on? Is that it must be a really small show, no one's here. And there were other people in the parking lot. There was one other car who was definitely there to see me, and then eventually after like 10 minutes after the show was supposed to start, they left, and then I at some point there realized what had happened, and I had promoted the show that one group of friends wanted to go to, and then just were in a parking lot in front of a closed venue, and I felt so bad about it. I remember posting a bulletin the next day like, sorry if you were that car the like 3 people who responded to all this promotion I did for this one show, and then went out to like the middle of nowhere, Illinois, to just sit in a parking lot, and then realized that it was all a hoax apparently that I was playing.
That was me.
Yeah. I wonder if that car of like 3 friends is out there. Please let me know. I apologized. I apologize dearly for that. That's probably the worst. Also, the first show I ever played, I got my hand stuck in a car door before going. Playing shows, yeah. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna move on to another.
Didn't you lock your keys in the car too, or something? Or no, the battery died.
I don't remember that.
Because
At a show?
the PT Cruiser.
Yeah.
Was that the one in Crystal Lake?
Oh, I don't remember. All the bad shows in high school just go together to one memory. Oh yeah. Oh, that was with the metal band. Yeah, we played a show at the Oasis in Crystal Lake, and it was like -4 million degrees outside, and the car wouldn't start because we had a crappy car, and we had all this equipment, and then we got stuck at this venue. And what ended up happening?
How did you get home?
I don't remember how I ended up getting home.
Maybe one of the other people in the band. You probably had to drive yourself because you were the drummer, right?
Yeah, I think I drove back with someone else, and we just left the car with all my drums
We went the next
in it.
day.
Yep, yeah, we did. Were there any good shows in high school?
Well,
I don't know if there were. Okay, on
the ones
the
in Dundee were good.
Clearwater Theater. That one was
I don't know
that
what it's
Dundee?
called, but it's right on the river, possibly.
Yeah, though that venue was really cool, Clearwater Theater in Dundee, but it's now called Rock House. It closed down or switched management or something. But yeah, the venue's still there. I haven't been to it since, but it's called Rock House now. That was a really cool place to play shows. Any musician, dead or alive, you wish to collaborate with? I guess just going back to the Primus stuff, I would love to work with any of the members in Primus, yeah. So that would probably, that's my first. But I mean, there's a ton of musicians I would like to work with, but I guess as far as the biggest inspirations on me, it would be the members of Primus. Yeah. So if Les Claypool's out there and doesn't feel like fishing one day, he should just go fishing and skip whatever silliness we would make.
Is he older than I am or younger than
I don't know.
Younger.
No, I think the members of Primus are in their 50s.
50?
Yeah.
They're 55 as well?
55. So okay, so there's
forever.
So we joke that once you hit 55, you're 55 for 5 years, and then you hit 60 because of that old video, 55, that song.
Right.
If anyone remembers that.
Like Susan Donner turning 56.
Well, you're not turning 56.
No.
You're just 55 for 5 years
for 5
until
years.
until you're 60. I guess that's my answer. Les Claypool, Larry Lalonde, or Tim Alexander.
50.
50 down.
We're halfway?
Yes. Someone asks, is there going to be another Sunday youth group? I would love for there to be another Sunday youth group. That really comes down to whether or not Sarah's available. I would love to shoot 10 more Sunday youth groups. We shot those 2 in the same day. I would love to do that again. And I have some ideas, but it just comes down to Sarah's in Boston, so she's not around here anymore. But if she's ever back, I am game. So it's really up to Sarah, I think. Sam Grant asks, what is your involvement with the scallion industry? And if you're honest enough to admit it, how much does the Scallion Council lobby affect your musical policies? Well, Sam, I can't get into that. Someone asks, will you ever buy a new hat? I really wish I could just get another one of these. They discontinued this one a long time ago, so this one's like super gross now. But I only wear it when I'm filming. The next one too, are you gonna do another collab with Sarah Longfield? Would love to. Does Sarah Longfield sing in a band? A lot of Sarah questions. I don't believe she does. I think she's just shredding on the guitar most of the time. A few asking for another collab with Sarah Longfield, but here's one asking for a collab with Mr. Wibblespoon.
That's for sure.
I don't know. I don't.
It's hard to reach.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think Mr. Wibblespoon might be working on his own album right now.
Oh my gosh.
What did you think of Rumi's 1 hour song? I thought it was great. I think Andrew and Rumi and Mary Spender, who also did a song and 1 hour video, I think took it a bit further and probably learned from some of my mistakes. Yeah, I think it was great. I think, yeah, Rumi's just really, really good at making pop music and singing. Why is Mr. Wibblespoon in your house? I don't know, and I don't know how he gets access to my second channel sometimes. Frankly, he kind of scares me.
Wib, wib, wib.
What's your dream car? I don't know, I don't really have a dream car.
Right, that's not your thing.
I think given that car, the PT Cruiser that broke down and the other one we had, just a car that runs is a dream car to me.
I know what your dream car is.
What would it be?
The ones that drive themselves.
Oh yeah, if I had an autonomous car,
Yeah.
oh man, that would be my dream car. It says, do you practice daily? If so, do you have tricks to turn monotonous tasks into something more interesting? I don't have a practice schedule, but I do end up playing nearly every day just because I find myself doing it, and I like it a lot. So it's not necessarily like, oh, it's 5 o'clock, I need to practice scales now or something. Like, I just really enjoy playing instruments. I think what can make monotonous tasks more enjoyable is I listen to a lot of podcasts, or I'll watch YouTube, like a long playlist, while I'm just practicing and doing the same thing over and over again. And it's in one way to make that monotonous task more interesting, but also just to give my hands something to do because I'm kind of fidgety while watching something. So it kind of serves purposes in both ways. I enjoy what I'm watching more or listening to more, and it makes practice more interesting. Okay, in the next 3 that I sign, I'm also gonna put big stars in the table of contents. So you have a 1% chance of getting the gold star, I guess. Or they're not gold, but yeah, you have a 1% chance of getting 4 stars. So you have a 1% chance of getting the stars, a 1 in 6 chance of getting a thank you page, and a 1 in 30 chance of getting the sombrero. What was your best concert experience? I don't really know. I think some of the most fun shows I ever went to, I think, were metal shows in high school. But I couldn't pin down one, like at the at the Knights of Columbus KOC, or the VFW. There's a few VFW halls. I think recently, I saw Slayer recently, and it was some of the most fun I've ever had at a concert.
Did you get backstage at that?
What else? No, I didn't. Oh no, I did. Yeah, because that was the open air festival. We got tickets from Corey Taylor. That was cool. Yeah, that was fun. So, and they were all hanging out backstage, the people from Channel Awesome and Corey and Griffin Taylor. And I knew Slayer was coming on soon, and I was like, you guys, I just have to go. I can't not see Slayer. Yeah, Slayer was probably some of the most fun I've ever had. But I also, back to Draftage, I saw him pretty recently. And that was a lot of fun, very different experience. I saw American football a year and a half ago at some point in Chicago, and it was while the Cubs were in the World Series too. So Mike Kinsella kept saying, he's the front man of American football, kept saying like that we were all screwing up for being at this concert when the Cubs were in the playoffs. Though they lost that game, and the game was happening like a few blocks down. But that was a ton of fun in a very, very different way than Slayer. But I probably enjoyed American football and Slayer equally in very different ways. Here's a good lead up from American football. Do you have a favorite chord or favorite chords?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and I think the tuning that American football's Never Meant is probably my favorite chord on the guitar, and it's what Anchor and a lot of the songs on this EP are in. It's, on an H string, it's F, C, F, A, C, G, C, E, which is pretty weird. But that would be my favorite chord. On an H string, you're able to You can strum all of them to get, I believe, is an F major 7th. And then you can strum the top to get a C, and then just the bottom to get an F, I think. Video you've made that you're least proud of. From Max K. Yeah. What is the least proud of video I've made? Probably the video I'm least proud of is probably one that's unlisted and you can't see anymore. But I've only done that to a few videos. And there's one that I made the first time I tried to make a both sides of the strings video was a while back, and I remember uploading it and it being up for a half hour and then me deleting it. So maybe that would be the right answer. I don't know. There's probably a few that could go in that category. Max has put a few questions right in a row real quick. So I'll just keep going on with his. Favorite non-music related channels? That's really hard. I do watch a lot of YouTube. There's so many, it's really hard to choose. I'll say Wheezy Waiter is one of them for sure. Wheezy Waiter's channel. His videos exist in such this like crazy, colorful universe of silliness. And I was just filming with him the other day, and they might be the most fun videos, the most fun channel to make a video for, because it's just really absurd. We have one coming out probably right when this comes out. Subscribe to Wheezy Waiter. And then the last video when this comes out is probably the one that we made, where I have a small part in it, where it's just like his videos will just be filming, and in this fictional universe he's made, it totally makes sense to just reach out a frame and grab a guitar at any point, or like in the video, him and himself are rolling out a rug, and then they find out that I was just in the rug the whole time. Just like that's how I'm introduced into the video.
Don't give too much away.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. Yeah. Spoiler alert. Who else? I don't know. There's a ton. There he is. Someone asks where's the duck. Hasn't made much of an appearance on the second channel recently. But I don't control the ducks, so
right.
that's totally out of my hands. What makes you get up every day and produce content?
Money. Commas, baby.
There's a lot of people asking about the duck. There's a lot more people asking about him. Yeah. Again, I don't control him. Ever thought about forming a YouTube band with other music buddies? I guess that's what Hank Green and the Perfect Strangers is. Yeah. Though it's in a bit of a different world than this channel. But yeah, that's a lot of fun. We've gone on 3 tours. Andrew, Rumi, Dave, and myself have considered doing something, but it wouldn't really be like a band. And I'm not really interested in being a touring musician for more than, like, it'd be fun to go on a tour, which has been the last few years, maybe doing 1 tour a year. But in that case, if you're forming a band with YouTube musicians, everyone's main project is making videos, so touring isn't the first priority. But yes, to that question, I would love to do more with Hank Green and the Perfect Strangers because that band is the most fun thing in the world. It'd be great to do something live with Dave, Rumi, and Andrew. And I guess we have formed a band once.
Oh, that's right.
But yeah, but if you haven't played this game, I can't do it because there's no annotations now. Or you can use them, but wherever the cards are, I'm gonna forget to put them in. But if you haven't played the game that we made, you can get to it from each of our 4 channels. And then if you beat the game, or actually if you get to the end and then lose, probably is more accurate, you can see a song that we all made together as a boy band. And it's something else.
Did the band have a name?
No, we didn't have a band name.
Yeah.
I think we just called it, Andrew, Rob, Rumi, and Dave or something. Oh, people are asking about the duck. The next 6 are gonna have the duck in it.
That's hard to draw.
Yeah, I can't. That's a horrible duck. It looks like a bad heart. But the next.
It's a chick.
The next
Like a chick than a duck.
The next 6 will have the duck in it. So you have a 2% chance of getting the duck for the people asking where the duck is.
And this is
It's in 6 of these tab books. I did that for the vinyl too. I don't remember how many ducks I made. Oh, that's a bad duck. No, that's actually a bit better. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Someone says, can you sweep pick? If so, how do you develop the skill? Okay, the only way that I can sweep pick back to another game is to win the guitar battle game. So in short, the real answer is no, I can't sweep pick. But if you beat that game, there's 3 different ways to beat it. And then if you get the ultimate ending, and then this can, spoilers, if you continue playing after getting the gems, this game is so complicated. The guitar battle, if you get the best ending, you also get gems. And then if you start over from that end screen, you can start the game over with the gems and use the gems to get the sweep picking ability to get the actual final ending. And I think the original video has like 280,000, the start video has 280,000 views, and I think the ultimate sweep picking one has like 10,000. So
really, wow.
Yeah, so you have like, I guess going to percentages. You have a very small percentage of people.
That's the tritone one?
Yeah, that's when the tritone video goes into. So if it's 10,000.
Which I just watched today.
Or actually, I think it was 15, maybe it's like 15,000. Either way, a very small amount of people made it all the way through to the ultimate ending. I guess because they probably figured that, of course, the gems don't do anything. But they actually do if you start it over. How long did it take you to get used to the sound of your voice on recordings? I don't know.
The way they even talk.
Yeah, because it sounds different when you hear it in camera. Hey, that's my mom. I think at this point I've kind of got used to it. Though Jake, who I work with, has been editing the videos. So he's the one mostly hearing my voice now. I don't edit, but I'll edit this one because he's currently on paternity leave. Congratulations, Jake and Eliza. But I think at this point I've gotten used to hearing my own voice and seeing myself in videos. It's just weird. It kind of feels like another person, like, oh, that's an actor. But definitely at first it's weird. You're like, wow, I sound dumb. Will you ever tour again, like with what you did with Hank Green? I hope so. No plans currently, though. How did you meet Rumi, Andrew, and Dave? I met Andrew a long time ago. I'm pretty sure I reached out to him in the early days, and then I met Dave and Rumi through Andrew. And they're some of the coolest people I know. Though we're still in heated challenge.
The 1 hour challenge?
Yeah, we've been doing videos where we got some serious beef on that right now. Yeah, a normal guy asked, where do you get the beanie scaling? And then I saw that earlier and I didn't realize that it's Jeff. Someone asked, can you be my dad?
You get that question a lot.
That's a thing on. That's a thing. Yeah, it's like
it's
a thing on the internet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not specifically just with people who watch my videos asking for me to be their dad. That's like a internet
So
thing.
if you're watching a female, do they get can you be my mom? Probably.
That's a good question. I don't think so.
They probably get can you be my girlfriend?
Yeah.
Or my wife.
Yeah. Any plans for another album with vocals? I currently don't have any plans for any full albums at all right now. Except for maybe, I think Mr. Witherspoon might be putting some songs into, though I don't know if that's, I wouldn't consider that an album as much as I would consider that garbage. But currently, I don't know, currently just with the schedule with YouTube and whatnot, and also just my interest, I'm a lot more interested in making singles right now. Do you still use your prototype for the signature model, the one with the lighter racing stripe? I don't use it anymore. Well, actually, I was using it the other day, but just to play around the house. But it's hung up. I did at least one tour with it, with Anchoring the Perfect Strangers, and then a bunch of videos. But at this point, now that we have the final, not prototype versions, I'm just using those. And it's just hung up on the wall. And then my brother John, he has the prototype of his 6-string.
Bill Clinton has been to my house. You can Google it.
Yeah, all right, you have a 1 in 300 chance of one with a bunch of random squiggles on it. So you have a 1 in... What's it like to deal with Mr. Wibblespoon? It's weird. It's weird. This is the second channel too. Is like almost his channel, and he's taken over. There's only 20 left, so I think I'm just gonna hand over the video to Mr. Wibblespoon, and I'm just gonna speed this up, and he's gonna add a song of his. I don't know what it is. It's probably a huge mistake for me to do that, but yep. Here we go.
Bill Clinton has been to my house, you can Google it. You could believe me, you could just hear me out, or you could Google it. Just look it up and you'll see Bill Clinton's been in the same room as me. You just gotta know the cold hard facts. Bill Clinton's been to my house in the past. Bill Clinton has been to my house, you can Google it. What were the circumstances, don't even ask, you can Google it. Just look it up and you'll find Bill Clinton's been to that house of mine. If you look it up you'll see Bill's been in the same room as me. Bill Clinton has been to my house, you can Google it.
All right, that is all 300 that I will be signing. All the pre-orders and probably the orders that are ordered.
Continue.
Well, now that Ike is in the shot, we can actually finish it. So that is all 300 signed copies for me. Thanks for hanging out. And in all seriousness, thanks for watching my videos and being interested in the music and stuff I make. And thanks for watching the second channel. You're not gonna look into the camera, Ike? Can you look up here, please? He's such a diva.
There you go.
Google it.